What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. It's the Pacific finale, and this series has been probably one of the most brutal things that we have ever seen.
Yes.
And I mean, comparing it to Band of Brothers, Hacksaw Ridge, 1917, we've seen a bunch of war content on the channel, and we've seen other things like Saving Private Ryan and lots of war content. And this one just hit so much harder, I feel like.
Yes. Like, I want to tell you, even after we cut, after we were done with the episode, we were done with our discussion, I still cried. I cried opening the curtains. I cried, like, going into the kitchen. I cried.
It's just
still.
The aspect of this show, the way that it just showed the brutality of what the Marines were dealing with in the Pacific, it just hit harder. I don't know if it's just the way they just showed the men constantly deteriorating mentally, getting into fights with each other, yelling at each other, being exhausted, unable to have proper supplies, just watching the way they just got through this and the way Marines died, just the brutality of the war and how the Japanese soldiers were reacting in the war, and just humanity as a whole felt lost watching this. Well, and just how brutal, like brutal's the word. Just how brutal it was.
Regular civilians just trying to live their life, being strapped with bombs and their babies.
The way they used the civilians was very hard to watch.
Their children. Like,
I mean, this episode specifically, like, really, it focused a lot on Eugene and his journey from the moment we've met him to now. It's been a difficult one to watch. And again, he's one of the only characters that I feel like has been in every episode. There are a couple that he wasn't in, but like Eugene, from the start to episode 9, we really saw his journey through the Pacific and watching his mindset shift every time something got bad. And just he continued to get worse and worse and worse.
But it's like a little bit better, a little bit worse, a little bit better, a little bit 2 steps forward, like 3 steps back.
Just the way he got too comfortable with, oh, you get used to it. Oh, I want to kill all of them and I'll do it with my hands if I have to.
Don't dwell on it. And
it's just watching him, it was really sad to watch because obviously Eugene's a real man. He fought in this war, and along with all these other Marines and obviously the military across the world who was fighting in this, it's just the brutality of the war. And I feel like this show specifically hit on that harder than a lot of other stuff. Like Band of Brothers, it was difficult to watch, but it felt triumphant. You felt happy because these men were together and they were doing it together and they were coming together, and they just, something about the Pacific that just, it really hits that brutality of the whole reality of the war and all that stuff. And just, I was really happy to see Eugene at the end finally have that moment with that Japanese woman in the hut where she wanted him to shoot her in the head and he embraced her instead. And then when he came out, another Marine shot this young Japanese, I think he was a soldier. He might have just been
he just looked like a kid.
Civilian.
He just looked like a child.
And dude was like super excited, and Eugene got like pissed off about it. So it was nice to see Eugene have a moment that brought him back to essentially like the reality of his world. And you could tell that maybe something came back into him, and this is the end of the war. Like the bomb at Hiroshima, there was another bomb that was dropped after that, and this is the end of the war. So Eugene and his whole company are going home, and that's what it feels like. So, I mean, just the whole start and finish of everything that played out with Barcelona and just everyone else, all the other Marines that we met along this journey who got wounded and got sent home. Just so intense, so brutal. Like, the brutal's the word that I'm just going to keep using because that's how I feel watching this. And yeah,
I was a mess.
I mean, that last episode was so hard, watching the kids, watching just the way the civilians were used.
How can you look at a baby and be like, yep, I'm going to use you to lure in the enemy and blow you up?
Yeah.
What?
It's unimaginable. It's just an unimaginable thing.
I'll never get over it. I'll never get over it. It will never leave my brain.
Yeah. But here we are.
Yeah.
It's the finale. So you ready to check it out?
Yeah.
Let's go.
We were in downtown Norfolk, up on about the third story in a restaurant, and we heard it, and they flooded the streets, and they were hollering and dancing and carrying on, and we were right there with them, and it was the happiest day. It was the happiest day.
By the time you come out, you're not like you were when you went in. You've aged a whole lot.
It was a struggle to try to get it into your mind that you were actually back in the States, and you just kept thinking that you were going to wake up and find it was all a dream.
My bedroom was next to my parents' bedroom, and I can remember many a night my father screaming. Having a nightmare, and then I would hear my mother's voice trying to calm him down.
He had a very strong will, so he tried to overcome what was bothering him, but it lasted his entire life.
This show's music is gonna like stick with me forever.
100%.
Like those trumpets.
Yeah.
And the people went their ways, each to his own ship, then bethought them of the blessed boon of sleep. But Achilles still wept for thinking of his dear comrade, and sleep, for whom all things bow, could take no hold upon him. This way and that did he turn, as he thought of all they had done together and all they had gone through. You're not listening to me.
Oh, no, sure we are. Thought of all they had done together and all that they had gone through, both on the fields of battle and the waves of the weary seas.
The Japs surrendered. The war's over.
The war's over. It's over.
Wow. Wow.
You got a nice little party going on down there, Lieutenant?
A victory party? Can't believe it's over, huh? Sort of, what do you do now? Here. Have a little VJ Day party of your own.
Thanks, Lieutenant.
What do we do now?
Honestly, I mean...
What an idiot.
I'll show you what I'm doing now.
Eugene goes from not being a smoker at all to being like
Chain
dude with
smoker,
a pipe.
Yeah.
My first official act of peacetime. Snaff.
I wonder what Remy is like, in real life. He's such an interesting person. The way he portrays certain characters,
Yes. Nothing's changed. I thought the same thing when I got back. There, you can keep the change. I ain't touching that. Might have jumped into Normandy, but at least I got some liberties in London and Paris. You gyranes, you got nothing but jungle rot and malaria. Welcome home.
Just giving us some warning, a phone call or a telegram or something.
Yeah. Well, we'll get this stuff out of here first
I
thing.
don't know where we're gonna put it all.
Well, half this junk we can throw away.
Not what you said when we lugged it all up here.
Oh, that was 4 years ago.
Wow. That doesn't feel like welcome home.
Let's give him a moment.
That's tough.
It's almost like they weren't expecting him to ever come home. It's like
They might not have been.
I would have left your room exactly the way you left it. I mean, dusted it, of course, took care of it, but I wouldn't have touched it. It's not mine to touch. It's my house. But still, that's your
Everyone
room.
handles things differently.
I don't like that.
I mean, we saw when he got dropped off, his dad was more focused on fixing the car than...
That was kind of like avoidance. Like, I don't
Right.
want to know that you're leaving. I don't want you to leave, kind of.
But they don't seem like the most affectionate, like...
Yeah.
Show feelings kind of thing.
How about I take you to the back of the train? You can show me your caboose.
Oh my. Okay. Snafu, you can't be talking to girls like that. Looks all nice, all dressed up and clean.
Lied to again. This entire division didn't do that plus 6 months horse shit we did.
They got home a week after VJ Day. Parades, pretty girls, 1946, the party's all over. Not as much as a complimentary beer.
Somebody had to stay and clean up after the war.
I'm gonna have to get a job, too.
Doing what?
Anything between digging ditches and owning a bank. First, I gotta get Florence home. Florence from Melbourne?
You shipping her all the way over here. This the first we hear about it?
Come on, Snaff. I was milking hour. Figured it'd be bad luck to talk about it then. I guess I'm gonna find out soon enough whether I'm getting married or not. You got a job lined up in Mobile?
No. No job, no girl, no plans.
How long you think that's gonna last?
As long as the sheriff lets me.
That's John's house, isn't it?
Mrs. Basilone. I'm Lena.
I recognize you from the photos Johnny sent. Well, come in.
Ma che bella ragazza. Johnny ha sposato proprio una bellezza.
He says you're beautiful.
George.
Heard so much about you. Last time I saw him in Honolulu, he couldn't stop talking about you. He was just about to ship out. Would you like a coffee?
No, thank you. I'm fine.
4th Marines are being mustered out. How about you?
Waiting for orders.
Hurry up and wait. You need anything?
No, I'm not here for...
John's insurance money is gonna help you out, right, Lena?
Actually, he never signed the papers.
Never signed? It's $10,000 bucks.
It's okay. I'm all right.
I saw his grave on Iwo. He's got lots of good Marines on all sides of him.
He would have appreciated that.
Sure about that coffee? Maybe something stiffer.
I came by because I thought you should have this.
Oh, the
His
Medal
Medal
of
of
Honor.
Honor.
There's my little brother.
Good. Must be good, Texas.
No sign of Florence.
Melbourne's a hell of a long way, Bergie. It'll take Florence a while to get from Australia to here. Thanks. For doing all you did to keep us from getting our full head shot off.
You're good Marines.
How do you keep in contact? You just don't. You can't.
Phone numbers. These are happy moments.
I know. I mean, minus the John stuff.
You made quite an entrance, Bob. The whole room is buzzing.
Hope they meet their deadlines.
We're almighty proud of you. Proud of all you soldiers.
I was a Marine.
Proud of all of you. Now you're back. Guessing you're here for a job.
Take my former position.
Well, you still want to cover local sports?
Yep. To start with.
Here's why.
That guy you got writing the column right now, he's got no snap, no style. Prose just lays there like spilled ink on newsprint. You need to send him to Obits and give me his desk.
I do.
For the sake of the paper.
And when did you see me demoting him and hiring you?
Today's good. Bergen Catholic plays Don Bosco Prep this afternoon. Kickoff is at 3, so I better get going.
Shouldn't we talk about salary?
$10 a week raise will do it.
I will give you 7.
I'd have taken 5.
All right, Leckie.
What are you looking at?
You a Jap? Honestly, because you sneak up like one.
You are spying on Vera Keller. My God.
Ma.
She never gave you the time of day.
Rude.
And she's dating an officer, of course. Look at that fancy car.
Did you come up here for a reason?
To get you to stop banging on that typewriter.
It's called working.
Not sitting there like that, it isn't.
Dang.
Your dress blues. You've never even worn them.
Best uniform in all military. Dress blues are so sharp looking. That's only because my daddy has his dress blues still.
My dad was in the army, so he had his camouflage. That's all he had.
They had uniforms.
No, I know, but all he kept was... no, he kept his full getup, but I remember my older brother putting on his camouflage.
French Quarter. Watch your wallet, pocket your watch. This is New Orleans.
Wake him up! Don't leave without saying anything. Don't do that. Oh! He does look nice.
Mrs. Keller,
Yes?
I'd like to speak to Vera, please.
And who shall I say is calling?
Robert Leckie, Mrs. Keller. I've lived across the street from you for the last 20 years.
Of course. Welcome home, Robert. Let me just see if she can come to the door.
It's kind of a weird response.
It was.
Bob Leckie, you're back.
I was afraid you wouldn't remember me either.
Oh, I remember you. Last time I saw you was in church right before you shipped out. You look well. Nice uniform.
Thank you. I've been wondering if you would grant me the pleasure of taking you out.
You want to take me out?
Yes, I do.
I have a date tonight. When the doorbell rang, I thought you were him.
Robert Leckie.
Charles Dunworthy.
Army, huh, Charlie? Where'd you serve?
I just graduated from West Point.
Lieutenant. Congratulations. Too bad you missed the whole show. How about another time?
Maybe tomorrow night. What's going on here?
I just asked Vera if she'd like to have dinner.
Nice try. She's not interested.
Actually, I don't have any plans for tomorrow night.
Yeah.
Oh, is that right? Really? Obviously, I've been wasting a lot of gasoline. Good night, Vera.
Well, it looks like I am free for dinner tonight.
Shit. I didn't think she was gonna like his smack talk.
I didn't think so either.
I'm back writing for the Bergen County Record.
We don't get the record.
I'll talk to subscriptions.
Why did I feel like he was writing her letters the whole time he was like, why does it seem so
like they don't talk?
Yeah.
You know, I wrote you a lot of letters while I was over there.
You did? I didn't get any.
Oh.
I never sent them.
Oh.
I didn't think I was gonna make it, so it didn't matter if I sent them or not.
Ouch.
Can I read them now?
I don't have them anymore. Rain on Cape Gloucester erased every word.
What were they like?
Best stuff I ever wrote.
Okay, maybe it's turning around. I don't know. She just seemed very like...
Well, considering they hadn't seen each other in how many years and the only interaction was when he was leaving, I thought she was receiving these letters. And I thought they had like a relationship.
That's same.
That's why it probably felt a little...
like off. Like
awkward.
It doesn't matter like what he's been through. It doesn't... You don't care?
You gonna take this from me or what? Good to see you, Eugene. What's with the MacArthur bit?
Huh?
Hop out of the sailor?
Calms me down. Packing it, cleaning it. Always have something to do.
What do you remember about Mary Houston?
The Mary Houston? Well, like everybody else in Mobile, I was in love with Mary Houston.
That's too bad for you. She's marrying me.
You're saying that Mary Houston is gonna be Mary Houston Phillips?
In the eyes of God and the law.
Well, what am I gonna hear next? The Marshalls landed downtown or setting up a hotel?
I want you to be my best man.
Aww.
If you think that I'm gonna stand at the altar and lose Mary Houston to the likes of you,
Well, hell yes!
Let's not crash the car. Let's get home.
Honestly. Oh my god, this is rough.
Oh.
Oh no.
And just how did my little brother do during his time in the service?
there weren't any women in my corner of the Pacific. Only nurses, and they were off limits.
Jesus H, you went through the entire war and retained your virginity? Well, your lonely nights are numbered, Gene. Every single girl in Mobile is out to land a fighting man. At the OOM ball, you will have a leg up on all those desk pilots.
Since I want a leg up on anybody.
You show up at that ball, decked out in your uniform, all the ripe fruit will fall off the tree right at your feet.
No, Edward, I don't believe I will.
You're gonna pass on the OOM ball?
No, I don't believe I will ever put on a uniform again.
I think that's just a sign of what he went through and how he is going to deal with it.
You're looking to register for classes, Mr. Sledge?
I'm thinking about it.
Which branch do you serve in?
I was in the Marine Corps, miss.
And did you attend any special schools while in the Marine Corps?
Just boot camp, weapons school. I was in a mortar squad.
Okay. Did you do any accounting?
No, miss.
Any journalism?
None at all.
Any engineering, technical skills?
Had to handle explosives.
I don't like this
Isn't
part.
there anything the Marine Corps taught you that you can continue at Battle of Polly?
How to kill people?
They taught me how to kill chaps. I got pretty damn good at it.
You come all the way home and you're not qualified for anything.
How did all this happen? Look at us, sitting here at a dance, drinking punch. Not a scratch on either of us. I mean, what the hell are we doing here? Why did I end up back here when all those other fellas didn't?
Survivor's guilt.
I thought that. Every guy back has thought that. You just gotta pull yourself out of bed in the morning and get on with the day. You do that enough times in a row, you forget some things. For a while, anyway.
That is tough.
Oh, shit.
I'm not comfortable with this. Is he gonna be okay?
I thought we'd start at what's left that old fence down by the creek.
I just worry about his mental state.
Hearing a gunshot.
Yeah. Having to fire a weapon.
Been looking forward to this morning for a long time. Just the two of us and a grand morning.
Yeah.
Eugene?
I'm sorry. I can't.
It's all right. You don't have to apologize to me, Eugene.
I reckon the dove population's going to be mighty happy this morning.
Honestly, Eugene, you look like a gangster with those glasses on.
Your brother's coming for supper this evening. Evidently, he's been named some kind of supervisor at the bank. I'm sure Edward could arrange a starting position for you.
I'm never gonna work in a bank, Mother.
You need to make a plan for the future.
My plan is to do nothing for a while.
How long is a while, Eugene?
Leave him alone, Mary Frank.
The boy is idle, Edward.
He's not a boy.
Well, he's acting like one.
Frank, you have no idea what men like him have been through. Now go on. Let him be.
Good job, Dad. I'm worried about him.
Me too. Oh, that's cool.
PhD in biology.
Oh, wow. Published in 1981. (2001). Talk about perfect casting for that. Aw, married Vera. Associated Press. 40 books.
Wow.
Helmet for My Pillow in 1957. 2001. 6 grandbabies. I've seen his picture before. On her birthday. 7 months. 1999.
I'll run her.
"40 years sold cars." 1997. 9 great-grandchildren. Not just grandchildren, great-grandchildren. Four kids is a lot of kids. 1985. Chuckler. Oh, that's awesome. He died in 1982.
Wow.
Snafu. Over 35 years.
Wow.
Until Sledge book. Wow. Aww. In 1993.
Bill Layden. Wow.
I gotta love these nicknames. Chesty. Oh wow, most decorated.
His nickname is Steve.
Yeah, I know. 17 years old. Literally a baby. Oh, wow. Oh, he did marry Florence. 4 girls.
Oh.
Oh, wow. This is a baby. "38 years. Wow. Wow.
The Marines are always going to have a special place in my heart because of my daddy.
Weird.
That was such a powerful series. I mean, just again, like we talked about at the beginning, the way they just focused on the really, like, the mentality of the Marines throughout the war. It was... That was difficult to watch. I mean, any war content is hard, just watching the brutality of killing and the deaths and the fighting and all that stuff. Finnan wants to say hello.
Wrong show, Finnan.
Yeah.
Wrong show.
So yeah, I mean, all of that's hard, but just the mental aspect of it was so brutal. So, I mean, it was so well done. These things are very well put together just because, I mean, they feel like a documentary when we're watching them.
It does. It totally does.
The production value is so good. The visuals are so good. There's just everything about the action and the camera work is just, it makes you really feel like you're there. Yeah. And this show did an amazing job with that. And I mean, it's what makes it so hard because it's not just a show. It's reality. This really happened. These men are real. Yeah. They lived their lives. They fought in the war. A lot of them didn't make it out of these situations. And it's tragic. It's an absolute tragic story. And everything that we experienced in this show with what the Marines dealt with was a nightmare.
Honestly.
Like, every stop that they made on the way was an absolute nightmare.
Like, I can't even, like, there's got to be a better word for how, like, absolutely horrifying every situation that they went through was.
I mean, yeah, it's unimaginable. And just watching them come home and being reunited with their families, that's some of my favorite stuff to see, because couldn't even imagine the emotion that I would be feeling if I was coming home to my parents or my child was coming home to me from this situation. It's just a child coming home from war. It's just...
They made it.
Yeah. Again, it's one of those unimaginable things where, I mean, obviously, like, Leckie's family, like, he talked about his family dynamic, and we saw it play out when he even came home, but, like, Eugene, like, the Eugene situation, again, he broke my heart. From, like, where we met him to where he was the last time we see him in this show, it's heartbreaking, because even his mom is, like, trying to push him to do stuff, and it's like... No, like...
He needs a bit.
I like that his dad came to his defense, and, I mean, I don't know if it was really the best idea to take your son out hunting within the first however many days he's home, or weeks, or however long he was home for.
You don't know how someone's going to react. You don't know if they're going to be okay with it, or if they're not going to be okay with it.
I mean, putting a gun in his hand and walking him through the wilderness like that, I mean, it definitely hit him hard, and you saw his reaction to that, and... It's just, I'm happy. His dad was very supportive.
Yeah.
And,
you need that.
I mean, he was a doctor in the military, so he knows what these soldiers and what the Marines are dealing with when they come home. And I think he, like, the whole losing your spark thing, that whole speech that he gave him before he left, I think he was concerned that he was there, but was trying to, like, pull him into, like, a normal life again. And it's just... too quick. It was too quick for Eugene.
It was really sad to actually see him sit outside of his son's room and hear him.
Yeah. Having nightmares. Terrors, probably.
I mean, you can't, when somebody's going through that, you can't wake them up, because then it makes it worse. I mean, experiencing a child's night terrors, you can't wake them up. It's so scary for them. I couldn't even imagine.
Yeah, I'm sad that we never got a snafu and Eugene farewell. I loved their relationship.
He didn't talk to them for 30 years.
That's amazing. That just goes to show how hard that hit him too. I mean, Eugene doesn't ever want to put the uniform again. Snafu probably didn't want to, like, relive those moments. And I mean,
being such a, like a tough guy, feels like.
Yeah, I mean, you could talk to a lot of Marines, soldiers who have been to war, and they don't want to talk about it. They don't want to relive the stuff that they went through, especially if it was hard. And Eugene and Snafu specifically, like, what they experienced was hell. And I would imagine, like, even talking to Eugene, it was probably hard for Snafu to go through that and relive those moments. But
my dad, just with the Vietnam War, I only know, like, this much because he doesn't really talk about that stuff. He doesn't want to talk about it.
My dad doesn't talk about stuff either.
Like, my dad worked in the hospitals, and he doesn't say much about any of that. He has a bunch of pictures of him with, like, his, fellow army men, but, like, that's it.
The only thing I really know about my dad's service was he won a award for being an amazing shot. He, like, won this
sharpshooter.
Yeah, like, he won this big plaque that my mom won't let him hang in the house, even though he wants to display it. But it's this big award that he was the best shooter in his unit, and yeah, that's really all I know. And
I'm sure there's a good reason why your mom doesn't want to let him. I'm sure that was a hard time for her.
Of course.
She doesn't want to be reminded of all the years that she was without him.
Yeah, 100%. Like, the family, it impacts everybody, and it impacts everyone differently. So just the fact that he didn't talk to anyone for so long, it's just his way, I assume, like, I don't know. Just of how he was dealing with it. It's just, I was really hoping for their farewell. I wanted him to, like, shake him and, like, bye, and like, have, like, a big, like, goodbye, like, wake him up and have, like, a really heartfelt, and just, I thought that was going to be the most emotional farewell, the two of them.
Because to wake up and you're like,
yeah,
I'm by myself.
But anyways, always love our soldiers, I love the Marines. I'm going to always love the Marine Corps. And, anyone who has fought, died, sacrificed, anything for our country, we love the military.
Served in any capacity, yeah.
We love the military very much, and
thank you for your service.
Anyone out there who is in the service, thank you, and leave your info down below if you're comfortable with that. love to celebrate you and thank you for your services and everything that you do for our country and stuff. So
to give us these freedoms to watch these shows, to be on YouTube. Thank you guys so much.
Yeah, so these shows are impactful. I think they're important. And yeah, this one hit harder than most. Yeah. Just the aspect of this war, not knowing a ton about the Pacific War and what went on there. It was a really, really good but difficult education.
Yeah.
So,
important but
important.
difficult.
Yeah.
I agree.
So, all right. Anything
That's
else?
it. No.
All right, y'all. Leave your comments. We'll see you guys later. Have a good one. Bye.